Fighting March 24th for Fury UFC, I'm sitting here today with Zach Reese, the undefeated prospect, and someone who's allergic to round twos. How you doing today?
I'm doing good, Zach. How about yourself?
Great, can't complain. So in 2 weeks, you have an opponent. You tend to not have opponents who stick around. This one looks to be sticking around. You're fighting Tommie Britton, experienced fighter, about 15 pro fights. How are you preparing for this fight?
I'm just preparing all the same, man. The opponents change a lot, and we're preparing to beat UFC guys. So that's the level of preparation we take, and so yeah, I'm ready, very prepared.
Yeah, Tommy, his pro debut was with Bellator, so he has at least a big name experience. He's been around the regionals a bit throughout his years. You've been through Peak and then Fury out of your four pro. People know who your amateur debut was against. That was with Kevin Holland back at when Cowboy was running shows out of his like barn. How's the career been on your end? I know it's been quick fights at least, but how's everything from your side?
Yeah, I mean, the fights have been going good. Like you said, I think I've only had one fight go to a second round. I think all my pro fights, it's about 4 wins in 7 minutes. So it's good, man. I don't really visualize it happening that quick, but I'm constantly like looking for finishes when I'm fighting. That's how we train. Um, just a savage mindset, always looking for finishes.
Yeah, I mean training wise, I got to meet your coach back in December. He kind of listed some of the people. I looked at the typologies, all impressive. The one that a lot of people know more so because of being in the UFC, Trevin Giles.
Giles. Yeah.
Giles. But you also train with Alex Marino,
Yes. Yeah.
and then
Yeah. I get to,
any others on the show on the upper level that you've trained with or do train with currently.
yeah, I would say those two guys and Anthony Ivy. He's a UFC veteran. He's climbing his way back up. He just had a great win in a Fury main event. And yeah, just those three guys, man, they're awesome. They're all black belts, I believe, and I'm not sure about Trevin. I think Trevin's a black belt, but yeah, just it's awesome to spar with those high level guys.
It's definitely the whole iron sharpen irons cliche saying, but it does
Certainly,
work out. The tougher that you spar with, the tougher you are prepared. So you mentioned it. I kind of hinted at it. All your pro fights, first round finishes. You have four pro fights, and if you do the math, it's 7 minutes and 6 seconds total. That's if you go by what is actually officially recorded. If you look at some of the
yeah,
matches, obviously when the ref stops it, the time clicks a little bit, so you're basically maybe at 7 minutes.
yeah.
Well, at four fights in, that's not even a whole decision yet. That's not a full 3 round fight yet. And you said it's nice to hear that you don't aim for that because obviously you're training for 15, you're training for 25s because you need to prepare for the deep waters if needed. So since you don't prepare, you don't train for that. Do you see a quick finish in this upcoming bout, or you just gonna ride the wave?
Uh, yeah, like you said, I'm honestly jealous of guys that get to go to like I would love it like a good decision before I take that step to the next level just to get the ring time. But yeah, I mean, I definitely plan on. I'm ready for 15 minutes. I'm ready to fight for half an hour if I had to. But you got to be a certain level to fight me, and I've said it before, not get checkmated by me. Um, and we'll see. We'll see if Tommy. I think he's tough. I do, but you definitely have to be like a lot better than tough to beat me. So
Yeah, I mean, speaking of tough, like I said, he has 15 pro fights. May have even been 16. I think one may have been a draw or no contest. 5 wins, but all five of the wins do come by finish. It does live up to his nickname, which is like Hammer Hands or Iron Hands. I forget exactly what it
yeah,
was, but if all your wins do come from knockout, it speaks value of your hands when they do connect. I would say this probably your more experienced, at least record wise, as in fights opponent. What are your goals for 2023? It's like aim it that way.
yeah. My goals for 2023 are definitely to by the end of the year I want to be in the UFC with a UFC win. That is that's my goal by the end of the year. And then 2024, maybe avenge my only loss. I think that's another good goal to set.
Yeah, I mean, and Kevin's a nice competitor too. He doesn't seem to say no. I think he realizes he gets paid the same no matter who he fights. So why
Yeah,
not just say yes?
for sure.
Um, he's also a nice guy. Ran into him maybe in the end of 2020, if not early 2021.
Yeah, I mean, he's a cool dude, man. I definitely root for him. He's a Texas guy. It's no hard feelings. Just as a competitor, you always want to get that one back. It happened a long time ago too, but yeah, I just want to earn my spot up there.
Yeah, I mean that also, like I said, it was your debut. It was also his second amateur fight, so you were both as green as you can get. So it
Yeah,
would be
yeah,
interesting to see where you guys would land now. Your
yeah,
pro
absolutely.
career so far has speaks numbers already. So it'd be interesting to see. His numbers are a little higher just for the fact that it was a
Certainly, yeah,
2019 or 2020 where he just like fought every 2 weeks it seemed.
yeah,
But
yeah.
so 2 weeks you have your next fight, aiming for the UFC by the end of the year with a win, not just being there but with a win. Where do you is there any like opponent wise that you would think would be like a good intro to the UFC? I know like after you get out of the rankings, there's like kind of a plethora of people.
Yeah, especially the guys like outside the top 25 and stuff like that. I definitely watch all the middleweights in the UFC. I definitely tune in for all those fights. But that's why I really love the opportunity for like a short notice fill-in fight, and that's where you get those opportunities, kind of maybe jump the line a little bit and fight somebody with a cool name on it. Yeah,
And those short notice ones come with incentives as well. It's usually a 2 to 3 fight deal off the bat because
yeah,
they're going to credit you for the short notice, and then if things don't go your way, they understand it was a short notice. But ideally, you short notice, you get the win. That gets the hype meter up a little bit, and then you get a better opponent the next time out. So UFC goals, obviously. Um, is it UFC or bust, or are you okay with the Bellators, the PFLs, the ones?
that's funny you say that because I've actually said that. I told my manager that, no disrespect to the other organizations, but yeah, I want to be a UFC fighter. People always ask MMA fighters, they go, "Hey man, you still doing that UFC stuff?" I get asked every time I go out to eat in Shiner, and I want to tell them yes, right? Yes, I actually in fact do UFC, not just MMA.
Yeah, it is. I always love that too. Do you train
Yeah,
UFC or I train UFC, bro? Um, that makes sense. I know like the other promotions are seem to be just now getting their footing. I know Bellator's been around since like 2008, and one's been around even longer. PFL
yeah,
was World Series of Fighting, but I don't think the common fan knows that or remembers them from
yeah,
NBC Sports. It's now just PFL and ESPN Plus.
yeah.
But all right, so 2 weeks you get the win. Maybe in the summer you get a contender series, a late replacement call. You get in the UFC. Where do you see yourself in like 5 years? Let's long range it now.
5 years. I would really love to have a beautiful resume of fights, man, and finishes in the UFC. That's where I see myself in 5 years. I'm 28. 5 years down the road, yeah, I chalk up some awesome highlights, and then eventually, 10 years down the road, I would like to have my own gym in Shiner. Um, I'm from Shiner. I don't know if you're familiar with Shiner.
Not at all.
It is the unofficial beer of the official beer of Texas. It's the oldest independent brewery in Texas. Our town's only got 2,000 people in it, so it's a very small town. Um, and yeah, I think I'm its first pro athlete. I'm for sure its first pro fighter. So I would love to have a gym here one day. It's an awesome community.
Also, I know all about the small town feel. I was born and raised in Bristol, PA. Bristol, PA is known for like being where like Pennsylvania really got its roots.
Yeah,
As far as sports goes, it's like we've had like one or two football players, and then outside of that, Pat Sabatini in the UFC.
cool. Right on.
You know, you go in a little bit out, you get a little more, but then you don't really hit anyone else until you hit like Philly.
Yeah, yeah,
Bristol's a mile squared. Um, I'd be, I'm sure it's over 2,000, but it's very like compacted 2,000.
yeah, yeah. Yeah,
So like I know,
we have one stoplight, and I think 6 or 7 bars. So we're a
That's
beer town for sure.
the town I live in right now. We have one stoplight. But so goals for the UFC: UFC or bust. Win in 2 weeks. And outside of that, I mean, any sponsors? Anyone you want to give a shout out? I mean,
Yeah, I definitely
mic's
want
all
to give a
yours.
shout out. We have a company here in Shiner, Preferred Plastics Incorporated. Paul Ponish, Caleb Collett. They're sponsoring me for this fight, and I really appreciate it. And also, I'd like to announce that Shiner Beer, Spetzel Brewery, has actually sponsored me. So I'm beyond, thrilled to be teaming up with them. They're the center stone of this community, and yeah, I'm honored to represent them and in the future in all my fights. So yeah, I have a question for you, Zach. Actually,
Derek,
top 3 Sublime songs.
Santeria. It's gonna get really, really basic.
Yeah, it's
Santeria is
classic.
probably my one. Um, Wrong Way.
Yep.
I said I hate the fact that this is like all the main hits, and then it's more so. I had to go what I got. It's more so. I know we're about the same age. I'm actually probably a few years older than you.
Yeah.
What I got more so because of Dave Mirra BMX growing up.
Yes, dude. I know exactly what you're talking about. A PlayStation 1,
So
right?
yeah,
Yeah.
my kid is sick of me bringing things up like that. Um, it's Dave Mirra and Tony Hawk for life,
Yep.
basically. That one, for example, like that was a record I saw on sale, and I was like, I need it. Um, I can pretty much name a song from either of those games and tell you what game it was and what level would basically like, start with it. Dave
Yep.
Mirra with what I got was always the Woodward School. Actually, I've been Dave Mirra 2, I believe. But
Yeah.
yeah, those are the 3. And then you bring in the other ones too. You get like, April 29th, 92, Bad
Yeah.
Fish,
I think
um,
Doing Time is on my top 3, I think.
Doing Time.
It's
Have you
classic.
heard the cover of Doing Time?
I have, man. I have a little celebrity crush on Lana Del Rey, but
That
don't
one
tell
caught
my
me off
wife.
guard. We were in the
Yeah.
car and like it came on. And I was like, I'm just sitting there like vibing to it. I'm like, this song is awesome. And I was like, wait a minute.
Yeah, yeah.
Because outside of that, like I don't know any Lana Del Rey songs. Yeah, one of the first people to catch the reference of the name. I do appreciate that. Um, I don't try to hide it. I think we actually just did a video on our Instagram where I even put in the background like a lo-fi version of 40 Ounces of Freedom to try to like make people
Yeah.
realize like I didn't come up with this name myself. It's definitely a parody, definitely um a thank you to the band,
An ode.
basically.
Yeah. Yeah. Right on.
But yeah, March 24th, UFC Fight Pass. You're on the Fight Pass card this time,
I'm
not
on the main
prelims.
card. Yep. Only on the main
So
card. So definitely tune in, guys. I'm gonna bring the violence. I always do.
let's go. Let's get the win again.
Let's go.